Here they are for race 1. Number 1 is Miss Emily Lou, owned by Dean Davis with Kurt Sogg. The 2 is out. 3 is Bexley, owned by Smith, Kesey, and Cunningham, Bob Harper. The 4 Top Line, owned by Steeman and Garver, Joe Adamski. 5, Don't Tell Dana, owned by Chris Ross and Jeff Out. 6, Evelyn Adano, owned by John Hubble with Dan Ader. 7 is Bye Bye Millie, owned by Holton, Snelling, and Evans, Ryan Holton. 8 is Follow My Crown, owned by Leonard Buckner with Tom Brinkerhoff. 9, Whoopsie Daisy, owned by Wooten and Sanders, Chip Noble. And the 10, She's That Kind of Girl, is owned by Mark Hartnell, and her driver is Bill Walters. Race 1 and backstretch, and there they go. And they're off a pair of breakers. The 8, Follow My Crown, off stride well before the start. The 3, Bexley, broke stride right at the beginning. Now going off stride, the 6, Evelyn Adano. Miss Emily Lou scoots away to a quick early lead, opening up 3 lengths, and She's That Kind of Girl in second. Another 5 farther back. And Don't Tell Dana comes away in third. 3 more to Bye Bye Millie in fourth. Whoopsie Daisy fifth. Another 6 more to Evelyn Adano. Top Line went off stride. And then we come down to Bexley. And much farther back to Follow My Crown. Well spread out to the quarter in 29-1. Passing the stands for the first time, it's Kurt Sugg in command with Miss Emily Lou leading by 2. As She's That Kind of Girl draws a closer second. 2.5, Don't Tell Dana is third. Next in line, Bye Bye Millie is fourth, just in front of Whoopsie Daisy. Span of 3 more to Evelyn Adano. 4 back to Bexley. And the distant pair of trailers after a pair of breaks, Follow My Crown and Top Line, who's still off stride. It's Miss Emily Lou leading the way over to halftime at that station in 101 flat. Off the turn, down the backstretch, Miss Emily Lou by a margin of 2. She's That Kind of Girl in striking range second, gap of 4 farther back. Don't Tell Dana is dropping back along the inside third as Whoopsie Daisy begins to pick up horses in fourth. Along the rail, Bye Bye Millie is stalled in fifth to the inside of Evelyn Adano in sixth. Then 2 back to Bexley, much farther back to Follow My Crown, much farther back to Top Line. They're over to 3/4. Miss Emily Lou, yet to face a challenger, has the lead by 3 in 1:31-1. Bound for head stretch, it's Miss Emily Lou, 2.5 lengths. She's That Kind of Girl, still tracking her from second. 3 back, Whoopsie Daisy is coming to third, followed by Evelyn Adano, and Don't Tell Dana continues to drop back in fifth. They're in the stretch. Miss Emily Lou is on top. She's That Kind of Girl angles to the outside, still 2 back in second. Another 5 more to Whoopsie Daisy and Evelyn Adano. But in the final yard, it's all Miss Emily Lou. She's going to score wire to wire over She's That Kind of Girl and Whoopsie Daisy. Miss Emily Lou picks up her first win of the season, scoring here in 2:01 flat. Sophomore daughter of Overcomer out of Miss Judy Comfort by Cold Comfort, owned by Dean Davis, trained by Kurt Sugg, and Kurt Sugg is the winning driver. Again, 2:01, and that is a lifetime best. Gears, 2-year-old filly pacer, sponsored by Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. 1 is Runaway Lawyer, owned by Newcastle Stable, trained by Doug Lowe with Dallas Miller. 2 is Big Chief, owned by Bartley and Bartley, trained and driven by Ron Steck. 3 is Life is Just a Dream, owned by Knight, Franz, Miller, and Gata. David Knight trains. Brian Sears is up. 4 is Paniversary, owned by Peter Pan Stables. Ivan Sugg trains. Duke Sugg is aboard. 5, Cup of Joe, is owned by Pamela Longwell, trained by James Sims with Jeff Fout. 6 is out. 7 is Maureen Hanover, owned by Burke and Burke, trained by Mickey Burke Sr. with Dave Pallone. And the 8 is Rocca Suave, owned by Charles and Barbara Kessler, trained by Jim Laurent and driven by David Hawk. 7 minutes until post time. In the backstretch, and there they go. Freshmen pacing fillies are sent on their way. The 5, Cup of Joe, was about 3 lengths off the gate at the start. It's Big Chief going out for the lead. Rocca Suave joins her from the outside. It's a gap of 2 back to Runaway Lawyer, who settles away in third. Next in line, Life is Just a Dream will tuck in fourth, followed by Paniversary in fifth. Cup of Joe is in sixth position, and gap down trailing is Maureen Henniver as they make their way to head stretch for the first time. And Big Chief and Ron Steck pop out of the pocket looking to overtake Rocca Suave for command in 28 and 3. Passing the stands for the first time, it's Big Chief taking over the lead and now has it by a length and a half. Rocca Suave yields in second, followed by Runaway Lawyer in third. Life is Just a Dream races fourth. Paniversary fifth. Cup of Joe starts to move up on the rim in sixth, and Maureen Henniver is seventh and last as they enter the clubhouse turn with Big Chief, your pace setter. It's Big Chief racing just off the rail, leads Rocca Suave by a length and a half. Runaway Lawyer third. Life is Just a Dream is now first over and gaining ground in fourth. Paniversary from the rail is fifth. Cup of Joe found the cover, now moves with it in sixth, and Maureen Henniver is seventh. 101 and 1 for the half. Very soft second fraction for Big Chief, who leads by 2 down the backstretch. Rocca Suave is just in behind. Life is Just a Dream first over on the outside. Cup of Joe has followed that cover into fourth position. Runaway Lawyer has fallen back to fifth, followed by Maureen Henniver and Paniversary. They're approaching the three quarters with Big Chief still on top in 1:30 and 4, 29 and 3 on the third split as they roll to head stretch. It's Big Chief leading Rocca Suave. Life is Just a Dream is trying to hang in there. 3 deep. Cup of Joe is trying to hit her best stride, followed by Paniversary, Maureen Henniver, and Runaway Lawyers last. They're in the stretch. And it's Big Chief. Rocca Suave angles down to the inside lane. Here's Life is Just a Dream on the outside. Rocca Suave's off stride. Big Chief, Life is Just a Dream. Big Chief might have just held on, but it was tight with Life is Just a Dream. And then it looked like the 5. Cup of Joe up third. Back to the winner's circle is number 2, Big Chief. She scores in a time identical to her baby race win last time around, 2 minutes in 2/5. A 2-year-old daughter of Big Towner out of Her Own Boss by No Nukes, owned by R.C. Bartley and R.C. Bartley Jr. of Ohio. The winning trainer driver is Ron Steck. Big Chief wins the first division of the Tompkins Gears 2-year-old filly pace. In the winner's circle, helping to make the trophy presentation with our sponsors Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers, Dick Evans and John Waller. Three exact at 42.80. Try 235, 231.60. The daily double 1 and 2 returns $45.40. Asia Field for race 3. 1 is Legend of Sleepy Hollow, owned by Darby's Edge Stable, Dave Hawk. 2 is Noble Big G, owned by Robert and Gail Imps, and Kane Kaufman is up. 3 is Gambling Jack. He's owned by Joyce Reed and driven by Chip Noble. Out of post 4, Sand Cruisin' Jack, owned by Sebenoler, Gilbert and Shoup, Ryan Holton. 5, Girl Chaser, owned by James Foley, David Myers. 6, Dollar Bill, owned by Herb Thompson, Jeff Nysonger up. 7 is Cheap Trick, owned, trained, and driven by Michael Lowe. 8, Attaboy Storm, owned by Long and Long, Kyle Lader. The 9 is Arizona Attack, owned by Robinson, Kohler, and Klotz. Jeff out off the second tier. Gwen Thompson's Falcons Design and Terry Thompson Jr. 6 minutes to the third race. And there they go. And they're off. A scattered beginning as Girl Chaser leaves from the center. Legend of Sleepy Hollow prominent from the rail. Noble Big G backs off, and Dollar Bill moves up alongside of him. Gap of 2 farther back to Gambling Jack, who comes away in 5th position. 2 more to the pair of Sand Cruisin' Jack to the outside of Falcon's Design. Then it's a gap of 2 more to Cheap Trick, followed by Attaboy Storm, and Arizona Attack is back trailing the field as they roll to head stretch. And Dave Hawk is making the early pace with Legend of Sleepy Hollow in 27-2. Fast opening fraction as they pass the stands. It's Legend of Sleepy Hollow on the engine by 2. Tracked by Girl Chaser in second. Dollar Bill settled away in third. Span of 3 more to Noble Big G, followed next by Gambling Jack. And then we have Sand Cruisin' Jack, who's pondering a move to the outside. Falcon's Design will beat him to it. Actually, he won't. Falcon's Design got forced out 3 wide there momentarily. And then we have Cheap Trick at the rail, followed by Arizona Attack up alongside. And Attaboy Storm is last. It's Legend of Sleepy Hollow to the half in an honest 58-1. Off the turn and down the backstretch. Legend of Sleepy Hollow leads by 2. Girl Chaser continues to draft along in second. 3 back. The Dollar Bill is being urged to keep up in third. Sand Cruisin' Jack is underway to his outside, and Falcon's Design is following that one. Noble Big G is getting shuffled back. Gambling Jack moves with the cover. Then it's 2 more to Cheap Trick and Arizona Attack, and 3 back to a struggling Attaboy Storm. It's Legend of Sleepy Hollow in 127-1. Set sail for home with a 1.5 length lead. Girl Chaser is just in behind, racing in second, and now goes to the outside, and Legend of Sleepy Hollow goes off stride. Girl Chaser inherits a 3-length lead as they straighten away. It's Girl Chaser leading the way. Sand Cruisin' Jack is 3 farther back in second. Falcon's Design comes into third, and Gambling Jack is fourth, but Girl Chaser is well clear in the final 16th, and Girl Chaser goes on to score. Sand Cruisin' Jack, Falcon's Design, Gambling Jack was fourth in 1:56-4. Girl Chaser is back in the winner's circle for the first time this season, scoring in 1:56-4. That's his lifetime best. A 3-year-old bay colt by In the Pocket out of Homewood's Pride by Crackers, owned by James Patrick Foley, trained by Jim Bianchi. The winning driver is David Myers. Edition of the Tompkins Gears 2-year-old filly pace, sponsored by Ritchie Brothers. 1 is Evil Jenna, owned by Havens and Bates. Scott Mogan trains. Chip Noble drives. 2 is Top Snob, owned by the partnership of Jackson and Fullen. Pete Sturry is the trainer, and Dave Hawk is aboard. 3, No Courtesy, owned by Burke Chiricello, Jones and Burke. Mickey Burke Sr. trains, and Dave Polona. 4, Tap Hanover, owned by Altmeyer, Kelson, and Waiter. Dan Altmeyer, the trainer. Mike Wilder aboard. 5 is Lady Loves Diamonds, owned by My Maid Stable, trained and driven by Steve Waller. 6 is Charles Gata's CG Kathy Cam, trained by David Knight with Brian Sears. 7 is the Pans of Iwo Jima, owned by Peter Pan Stables, trained by Ivan Stug Dutsug. And the 8 is Flight to Aruba, owned by Michael Bardo, trained by Danny Perdue and driven by Brett Miller. That's your field for the 4th race. Post time is in 6 minutes. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Ritchie Brothers Auction. Freshman pacing fillies are lined up for the 2nd division of their Tompkins Gear stake, and they're off. Lady Loves Diamonds is pointed out for that early lead. Evil Jenna towards the inside and making a break, the 2, Top Snob. So Tap Hanover comes away in 3rd position, driving on 3 off the early lead. No Courtesy settled away in 4th, 2 farther back to CG Kathy Cam, the Pans of Iwo Jima. Then it's Flight to Aruba, and the distant trailer at this stage is Top Snob as they roll to head stretch, and Steve Waller is making the pace with Lady Loves Diamonds. It's Lady Loves Diamonds on top by 2 in 28-3. Passing the stands, Lady Loves Diamonds calling the shots in here. Leads Evil Jenna by a margin of 2. 2.5 more to Tap Hanover in 3rd. No Courtesy is 4th, 6 off the lead. CG Kathy Cam is next, racing in 5th. The Pans of Iwo Jima is racing 3rd last, a Flight to Aruba, and that distant trailer Top Snob, who is gapped out 30 lengths from the field. Rounding the turn on their way to halftime, up top it's Lady Loves Diamonds. She continues on an uncontested lead from Evil Jenna, Tap Hanover, No Courtesy. CG Kathy Cam, the Pans of Iwo Jima, and Flight to Aruba off a half in 59 seconds flat. Off the turn and down the backstretch. And Lady Loves Diamonds has built up a 3-length advantage on Evil Jen in second. 2.5 more. Tap Hanover remains in third and being urged along to keep up. 2 farther back to No Courtesy in fourth. Then 3 more. The CG Kathy Cam, the Pans of Iwo Jima, Flight to Aruba, and far back to Top Snob. They're starting to gap out in 1:27 and 2, 28 and 2 on the third split as they roll to head stretch. Lady Loves Diamonds leads it, but Evil Jenna is rallied and now moved to the outside to challenge for the lead. Tap Hanover is also underway as the field starts to close in on the leader. Lady Loves Diamonds as they turn for home. It's Lady Loves Diamonds by a length. Evil Jenna closing on the far outside. Tap Hanover's coming on. It's Lady Loves Diamonds all out to hold the lead. Evil Jenna on the outside. Lady Loves Diamonds. She's going to get there. Then it was Evil Jenna second and Tap Hanover third in 1:57. Back in the winner's circle, Lady Loves Diamonds. She's a 2-year-old bay filly by Arts Place out of the Jate Lobel mare Yankee Blossom, owned by the My Maid stable of Lexington, Kentucky, trained and driven by Steve Waller in 1:57. She scores in tonight's second division of the Tompkins Gears 2-year-old filly pace, sponsored by Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. And representing Ritchie Brothers in the winner's circle, helping to make the trophy presentation to the winning connection. Here they are for the fifth. 1 is Cyclonic, owned and driven by Marv Purdy. The 2 is Little Red, owned by William Albright. Sam Albright is up. 3 is Palapedo Tom, owned by Michael Center with Jeff Fout. 4, Hudson Stock, owned by Charles Ringer with Jeff Nysonger. The 5 is Rosemont Princess, owned by the Dark Horse stable with Brian Sears. 6, Ask Me About It, owned by Parker and Berger, Dean Collins. The 7 is Douglas Macy's Rose Run Annette and Bob Harper. The 8, Alonda Edna, races for Robert Leslie Smith with Mike Wilder up. Back up to the 9, She's My Honey, owned by Olga Middleton with Brett Miller. And off the second tier is number 10, He's Nifty, owned by Darby's Edge Stable. And Oop Doing Trotting, Dave Hawk is aboard. 6 minutes. And there they go. And they're off. The 10, He's Nifty, went off stride and is about 20 lengths off the early tempo. From the center of the track, showing speed, there goes Rosemont Princess and Brian Sears. Palapedo Tom is up close just in behind, followed by Hudson Stuck, who tucks nicely at the rail in third. Another 2 more. Cyclonic is fourth. Little Red looks to back down in fifth position. And just alongside of that one, the 9, She's My Honey, went on a break. Then it's Ask Me About It, Ilonda Edna, and Rose Run Annette, about 10 lengths back to He's Nifty, who is working to catch the field now, opening quarter in 28 and 1. Trotting past the stands for the first time, it's Rosemont Princess. Rosemont Princess, she's on the lead here, just over a length. Closely tracked by Palapedo Tom second, Hudson Stuck third. Cyclonic tightens down in fourth, Little Red is fifth. Next in line we have Ask Me About It, who pulls to the outside first over in sixth position. Then it's Ilonda Edna, followed by Rose Run Annette. He's Nifty is getting back into the action, third over ninth. And after that break, racing in 10th is She's My Honey as they pass the half in 1 minute flat. Bit of a breather on the second quarter, 31 and 4 for Rosemont Princess, who leads down the backstretch by just over a length. Here's Jeff Nysonger and Hudson Stuck out of the 3-hole. First over on the outside, second to challenge. Palapedo Tom continues to draft along at the rail in third. The top trio has opened up 4 lengths on Cyclonic in fourth. Ask Me About It, hard driven to gain ground on the outside fifth. Another 2 more to Ilonda Edna between horses. Little Red is nearest the rail. He's Nifty is trying to come on, but is stalled 7 off the lead, and they're at the 3/4 in 1:30 flat. Bound for the head of the stretch, Rosemont Princess leads just over a length as Palapedo Tom reclaims second. Hudson Stuck is a fading third, followed by Cyclonic in fourth. Ask Me About It is fifth, and they're in the stretch. It's Rosemont Princess leading the way. The only threat is Palapedo Tom, and here he comes. Rosemont Princess under a drive. Palapedo Tom. Oh, yeah, he's going to get there. Palapedo Tom scores. Rosemont Princess, Ask Me About It, a distant third. Palapedo Tom returns to the winner's circle. He's an 11-year-old bay gelding by Wonder Child out of Cincinnati by B.F. Coletown, owned by Michael Center of Dayton, Ohio. Winning trainer is Tom Horner Jr., and Jeff Fout is the winning pilot. He guides Palapedo Tom to this victory in 2 minutes and 1. Of the Tompkins Gear Stake, sponsored by Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. Number 1 is Follow the Magic, owned by Davis and Sugg. Kurt Sugg trains and drives. 2 is Rianne Rose, owned by Roger Hammer. Roger Hammer trains and drives. 3 is KF Caitlin, owned by Hank Kaufman, trained by Mike Metters with Jamie Dunlap aboard. 4 is Good Luck Chip, owned by Standard Bred Nursery Inc., trained by Larry Willard with Terry Morgan at the helm. 5 is Katera Hanover, owned by Brian Pinsky Stable, Meinzinger and Stampson Street Stable, trained by Brian Pinsky with Jeff Fout. 6 is Kickin' In, owned by Brown, Russo, and Brown, trained by Brian Brown with Dave Hawk. 7 is Danny Purdue's Tough Tilly and Brett Miller, and out of post 8, Narissa Hanover, owned by Sam Noble Jr., trained and driven by Chip Noble. The 6th race upcoming in 6 minutes. In the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Freshman pacing fillies away to an even beginning, and Rianne Rose from the inside heads out for command. From the far outside, Narissa Hanover is looking for a good early spot, and she's in gear, and Chip Noble drives her to the front. Coming away in third position is Katera Hanover, followed by Follow the Magic. Tough Tilly is ranging up early from fifth now into fourth. Next we come down to KF Caitlin, Good Luck Chip, and Kickin' In is the trailer as they roll to head stretch with Narissa Hanover on the lead in a fast 27-3. Passing the stands, Narissa Hanover, but here comes Jeff Fout, and it's a lead change as Jeff Fout and Katera Hanover clear the front and open up by 2. Narissa Hanover is back to second. Rianne Rose is now out early from third. Another 3 back. Tough Tilly is fourth. Good Luck Chip hung on the outside in fifth, followed by Follow the Magic, KF Caitlin, and Kickin' In trails. Rounding the turn on their way to halftime, and Katera Hanover hands off to Rianne Rose and Roger Hammer. They lead to the half in 56-3. Fast pace here as they round the turn into the backstretch, and Rianne Rose leads by 2. Katera Hanover second. Here's Good Luck Chip, and she is in gear, rolling up first over. Farther back we have Narissa Hanover at the rail in fourth. Follow the Magic is stalled between horses fifth, sending KF Caitlin out 3 wide in sixth, and she's still got 5 to make up, followed by Tough Tilly, and Kickin' In is starting to rally from the tail end. They're approaching the 3/4. It's Rianne Rose leading the way. Good Luck Chip the long mile in second. Katera Hanover's in the pocket. 1:26-2. Bound for the head of the stretch. It's Rianne Rose by a length. Good Luck Chip with a second wind on the outside. Katera Hanover is just in behind. KF Caitlin on the far outside. And third back at the rail is Narissa Hanover as they turn for home, all chasing Rianne Rose through the stretch. Rianne Rose, Katera Hanover trying to come back, followed by Good Luck Chip. Narissa Hanover far outside KF Caitlin, and Kickin' In. Tough Tilly at the inside. Tough Tilly outside Kickin' In. Those two hit the wire together with KF Caitlin third in 1:57-1. In the pick 3, 5:50-80. Just getting up to score, the 6 Kickin' In. 1:57-1. She's a daughter of Noble Ann Sam out of the Camfella Mare Sharp Appeal, owned by the partnership of Brown, Russo, and Brown, trained by Brian Brown, and driven to victory by Dave Hawk. 1:57-1. in the third division of the Tompkins Gears for 2-year-old pacing fillies, again sponsored by Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. Here's your rundown. Follow the Magic was 8th. Rayanne Rose was 4th. KF Caitlin 3rd. There they are for the 7th. One High Slap Shot on by Paul Swaney with Jeff Fowd. 2 is JL's Pokey owned by Ravello and Bam Racing Stables Kyle Ader. 3 horses out for Mingo Road owned by Winner and Stanley, Kane Kaufman. 5 Thursday owned by Keith and Donna Ross, Bob Harper in the blank. The 6 is Magic Sabra owned by Johnson Hill Jr. with Trent Tharbs. 7 Beatty Towner owned by Beverly Bushelman with Greg Grismore. And the number 8 horse is Sunday Stroll owned by Donald and Sharon Barlow with Jack Daly. 7 minutes to race 7. Lined up for the 7th, and there they go. And they're off. All the way to a good beginning. Thursday is showing speed from the center. JL's Pokey joins him from the inside. High Slapshot comes away in 3rd. Mingo Road looks to settle back in 4th. Then we have Magic Sabra, Beatty Towner, and Sunday Stroll is last. Moving around to head stretch. Thursday opens up a 2-length lead on JL's Pokey in the pocket. 2 more to High Slapshot in 3rd. Next, Mingo Road is 4th, followed by Magic Sabra, Beatty Towner, and Sunday Stroll. They're single file past the quarter, 27-4. Coming past the stands for the first time. Thursday on the drop down makes the pace in here. It's Thursday, 8-5 co-favorite on the engine by a length and a half. JL's Pokey drafting just in behind. High Slapshot traveling along at the rail in 3rd. Kane Kaufman comes to the outside with Mingo Road in 4th. Magic Sabra is urged off the rail to pick up the cover. And then we have Beatty Towner and Sunday Stroll along the inside, shoots the gap trailing. Over to halftime, Thursday on an unopposed lead, 58-2. Heading up the backstretch, it's Thursday by 2 lengths. JL's Pokey just in behind 2nd. The Overland route from Mingo Road, first over under the whip on the outside 3rd. Along the rail, High Slapshot is shuffled back to 4th. Magic Sabra trying to move with the cover in 5th. Beatty Towner attempting to go 3 wide in 6th. He hasn't hit his best gear yet. He's still 6 off the lead, and Sunday Stroll is last at the rail. They're at the 3/4, being led by Thursday in 1:27 flat. Moving around to head stretch, it's Thursday by a length and a half. JL's Pokey been a patient 2nd in the pocket. Mingo Road is being urged to keep up on the outside 3rd. High Slapshot is racing in 4th. You can forget the rest as they turn for home now. And it's Thursday on top by a length. JL's Pokey angles out of the pocket for the stretch drive, but is not closing well enough. High Slapshot is 3rd. It's Thursday under urging and going on to win it by 2. JL's Pokey and High Slapshot 3rd. 2 exact at 21:20. Try 5-2-1, 48 even. Thursday back to the winner's circle. First victory of the season, 156. A 6-year-old son of Jade Lobel out of KG Casey by Falcon Almahurst, owned by Keith and Donna Ross. Trainer driven by Bob Harper. Fourth division of the Tompkins Gears Stake for 2-year-old pacing fillies, sponsored by Ritchie Brothers. Number 1 is Law & Order, owned by the partnership of Rudnick and Lennon, trained by Dan Perdue with Brad Miller up. 2 is Neo Nifty, owned by Ruth Taylor, trained and driven by Steve Carter. Out of post 3, it's Felicity, owned by Joe Sabraco and Don Latour, trained by Jeff Cox with Greg Grismore, the driver. 4 is Cam Best Connection, owned by Azau and Yusuf, trained and driven by Ed Hennessy. 5, Loco Lover is owned by Kohler and Drake, trained by Brian Brown with the driver Dave Hawk. 6, Cammy Fitch, owned by Charmin Lashuta, trained by Larry Tinch, and Mike Wilder is at the lines. 7, is True Blue Lou, owned by Bob Sidley, conditioned by Mike Metters, Jamie Dunlap up. And the 8 is Columbia Blue Chip, owned by the partnership of Noble, Midland, and Cohen, trained and driven by Chip Noble. That's your field, post time in 6 minutes. There they go. And they're off. Best Connection is pointed out for the lead. Neo Nifty is up close along the inside. Felicity looks to drop in third. Law and Order comes away in fourth. Loco Lover looks to settle down in fifth position. Then we have the outside trio, Cami Fitch, True Blue Lou, and Columbia Blue Chip is the back marker. But Ed Hennessy and Best Connection are leading this pack early. They're on top by 2, being tracked by Neo Nifty in second, Felicity third. 3 back to Law and Order, Loco Lover, Cami Fitch, True Blue Lou, and Columbia Blue Chip, 28-4. Passing the stands for the first time. Best Connection. Here's an early move from Loco Lover, and she and Dave Hawk brush to the lead under the wire with 5/8 to go. 2.5 farther back to Neo Nifty in third. Felicity comes to the outside in fourth, providing cover to True Blue Lou in fifth. Law and Order is sixth, and then it's Cami Fitch in seventh, and Columbia Blue Chip is eighth and last. It's Loco Lover to the lead in 59 seconds flat. Off the turn and down the backstretch. Loco Lover leads by a length and a half. Best Connection trying to stay with her in second as Felicity grinds her way up on the outside third. 2.5 back to True Blue Lou, who's trying to catch the cover in fourth position. 2.5 off the lead. Neo Nifty is racing a closer fifth now. 3 back to Cami Fitch. 6 back to Columbia Blue Chip. And Law and Order went off stride and is now far back trailing the field. They're at the 3/4. Loco Lover on top by 2.5. Best Connection is second. Felicity is dropping back between horses, followed by Neo Nifty and True Blue Lou. 1:27-1. Moving ahead stretch, and Loco Lover and Dave Hawk leaving their competitors behind now as they turn for home. It's all Loco Lover by 6 or 7 lengths. Best Connection is under urging to hold second. Late pace along the rail by Cami Fitch outside Neo Nifty, but it's all Loco Lover. She is at ease coming under the line, a 6-length winner. Best Connection second, Neo Nifty third in 1:56-1. Back in the winner's circle is Loco Lover. Loco Lover, a 2-year-old bay filly by Loco Hanover out of Retrieve Almahurst by Log, owned by the partnership of James Kohler and Bob Drake of Findlay, Ohio. Winning trainer is Brian Brown. The winning driver is Dave Hawk. That's a pair of wins tonight for that connection in the Tompkins gears. Loco Lover scores in 1:56-1. In the winner's circle again, helping to make the trophy presentation. 1 is Canvas Back Number, owned by Ron Barker. Bob Harper drives. 2 is Shelby Swinger, owned by Robert Davis with Tony Hall. 3 is Letter of Mark, owned by the SmackDown stable with Jack Daly. At a post 4, Mighty Bogey, owned by Tim Woodall with Jimmy Wisman. The 5 horse is Wild Red Reed, owned by Dan Ader. Kyle Ader is aboard. 6, Equitability, owned by Mark Grismore. Greg Grismore is driving. 7 is Hunter, owned by Jim Pollock, under lease to Jim Pollock Jr. with Mike Wilder. The 8, Bye Sydney, is owned by Kim Dingledine with Jim Daly. The 9 is Childhood's End, owned by James Veach. Driver changed to Dave Hawk. And the 10 is Sam's Megabucks, owned by Kevin McKinney with Chip Noble. 6 minutes until post time. Claiming Pacers are lined up in the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. There goes Shelby Swinger from the inside. Equitability, hard driven off the gate. And Letter of Mark looks to settle back in third. 2.5 to Mighty Bogey in fourth position. Another 3 more, and we come down a Canvas Back Number. And then we have Wild Red Reed, followed by Sam's Megabucks. And then it's Hunter, Bye Sydney, and Childhood's End as they roll to the opening quarter. Hooked up on the front end, Shelby Swinger and Equitability in a Fast 26-1. Passing the stands for the first time, and Shelby Swinger forces Equitability to drop into the pocket, but Letter of Marque is out early and looks to brush to the lead as they come under the wire. Mighty Bogey is following that move. 3 back to Canvas back number. 4 more to Wild Red Reed. 2 back to Sam's Megabucks. Hunter is to his outside. Bye-Bye Sydney looks to pick up cover, and trailing the field is Childhood's End as they round the turn to halftime. Shelby Swinger leads a half length. Letter of Marque did not clear as they hit the half in 56-3. Rounding the turn into the backstretch, it's Shelby Swinger fending off a challenge from Letter of Marque on the outside. Equitability is just in behind, and Jimmy Wisman is attempting to send Mighty Bogey 3 wide off cover, but Letter of Marque is still going. Then third over on the outside in 5th position, we have Canvas back number. Then it's Sam's Megabucks. Wild Red Reed is between horses on the extreme outside. That's Hunter, Bye-Bye Sydney, Childhood's End. 10 of them are covered by 4 lengths. Very bunched in 1, 26-2. Moving around ahead stretch, it's a weary Shelby Swinger on the lead by a length. Letter of Marque is beginning to relent between horses. 4 wide is Hunter, 3 wide is Mighty Bogey, and just in behind Sam's Megabucks has progressed along the rail. They're in the stretch. And it's Shelby Swinger clinging to a desperate narrow lead. Sam's Megabucks is closing in far outside Hunter and Bye-Bye Sydney. Sam's Megabucks outside Bye-Bye Sydney. Sam's Megabucks, yes. Finishing second was Bye-Bye Sydney. It was tight for third between Childhood's End and Canvas back number. Bucks with this mile in 1:57.3, a lifetime best for the 6-year-old bay gelded son of Noble Land Sam, out of Scootin' by Direct Scooter, owned by Kevin McKinney, trained by Calvin Wright, and driven to victory by Chip Noble. Grade 1, 2000, 7:22:40. Here they are for the 10th race. The 1 is Tapio, owned by William Klein III with Tony Hall. 2 is TNT Hanover, owned by Beverly Bushelman with Chip Noble up. 3 is Johnny Be Gone, owned by Billy Sanders with Jamie Dunlap. 4 is Apollo Sabra, owned by Reed Racing, Parrish and Parrish, Jeff out. Number 5, Raven Under Glass, races for David Merrick, Greg Grismore in the bike. 6 is Noteworthy Wolf, owned by Norman McVeigh with Ron Stack. 7 is Analog Man, owned by Hodkinson and Puccio, Dave Hawk. 8 is Sulky's Magic, owned by Robert Palmer with Jimmy Wisman. 9, Breadbox, owned by Clarence and Rhonda Gillum with Jack Daly. And the 10 is Bob's Little Bird, owned by Francis and Angel Beck, Adam Rucker. Post time in 7 minutes. Field is moving through the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Analog Man showing speed from the outside. Sulky's Magic on the far outside is up close, and Apollo Sabra drives through along the inside. Next in line we have Tapio, Johnny Be Gone between horses. A length and a half more to Bob's Little Bird, followed by TNT Hanover. Another 2.5 more to Raven Under Glass, Noteworthy Wolf, and Breadbox is last as they sort themselves out, passing the opening quarter with Analog Man on top in 27-1. Passing the stands, it's Analog Man by a length and a half. Apollo Sabra getting the pocket trip in second, followed by Toppy in third. Johnny Be Gone hung on the outside in fourth, and now flushes out the 1 Tapia. Bob's Little Bird along the inside is racing in fifth. TNT Hanover is sixth. Sulky's Magic is backing off on the outside, and that forces Breadbox out 3 wide, followed by Raven Under Glass and nearest the rail Noteworthy Wolf as they pass the half with Analog Man on top in 56-3. Off the turn and down the backstretch. Analog Man setting a rapid pace. Has a 2-length lead on Apollo Sabra in second. Along the inside, Johnny Begun is third as Tapia drops back between horses fourth. Forcing Bob's Little Bird out 3 wide from fifth. TNT Hanover is in sixth. 3.5 more to Breadbox, followed by the pair of Noteworthy Wolf and Raven Under Glass as they round the far turn. And it's Analog Man. Analog Man is kicking away by 4 lengths now in 1:25.3. Moving around ahead stretch. This one is all Analog Man. It's Analog Man by 6 or 7 lengths. Johnny Begun comes in a second, followed next by Apollo Sabra, TNT Hanover, and Bob's Little Bird. As they turn for home, it's Analog Man. Analog Man is jogging through the stretch, leads it by 5, and the Aussie Invader scores his first local win. It's Analog Man by 7 lengths. Second money was too tight to call between the 3 Johnny Begun and the 2 TNT Hanover, 1:55.3. Analog Man, an impressive wire-to-wire score in 1:55.3. A 6-year-old son of Walton Hanover out of Valley's Babe by Keystone Scotch. Owned by Ned Hodkinson and Robert Puccio of Ohio. The winning trainer is Virgil Morgan Jr. and the winning driver is Dave Hawk with 3 wins on the night. And the first victory on the local scene for Analog Man. 7-2 exact at $47. The try, 7-2-3, 184.60. Down stable with Brett Miller up. The 2 is Joe Mars Griftar, owned by Charles Johnson with Dave Hawk. 3 Cemetery Ridge, owned by Glenn Preston Addy with Jeff Foud. 4 is Holding It Together, owned by Richard Bunting, driver Chip Noble. Let's Do It Now is number 5, owned by Clarence DeLong with Jeff Neisanger. 6, Optimism is Board, owned by A-Man and Moore, Bob Harper. 7 is Tim Carsey's Nukes Express and Kyle Ader. The 8 horse is Yankee Gourmet, owned by Tim Woodall with Jimmy Wisman. 9, Winwood Cash, owned by Harry Groves. He drives. 10 is the A-Train, owned by Larry Morgan with Tony Hall. 6 minutes. There they go. 11th race field, let go for a mile, and Joe Mars Griftar leaves from the inside, joined by Cemetery Ridge. Flashy Scooter comes away in third. Between horses, Let's Do It Now fourth. 3 deep backing off fifth is Nukes Express, followed by the A-Train who drives through at the rail. Another 2.5 more to Holding It Together, followed next by Optimism is Board, and then it's Yankee Gourmet, and 2.5 lengths back to the trailer, Winwood Cash. Racing to head stretch, it's Dave Hawk on the lead with Joe Mars Griftar in 27-1. Passing the stands, Joe Mars Griftar leads by 1.5 lengths. Cemetery Ridge is racing in second, followed by Let's Do It Now, who took a seat in third. Next in line, we have the A-Train racing in fourth. Nukes Express angles to the outside with an uncovered bid from fifth. 2 back to Holding It Together in sixth. Yankee Gourmet advancing in the outer tier seventh, followed by Optimism is Board, Winwood Cash, and the 1 Flashy Scooter went off stride just past the head of the stretch. Rounding the turn on the way to halftime, it's Joe Mars Griftar on the lead in 58-2. Joe Mars Griftar settles down to a 31-1 second quarter, rounding the turn into the backstretch. And it's Joe Mars Griftar by a length. Nukes Express inching up on the outside to challenge second. Along the rail, Cemetery Ridge, the rail ride in third. The A-Train following cover very closely. Second over, 2 off the lead, racing in fourth. Along the rail, Let's Do It Now, locked in fifth. Third over and sixth is Yankee Gourmet. And then it's the pair of Holding It Together to the inside. As they round the far turn, Optimism is Board. And then it's Winwood Cash. 3/4 in 1:28 flat. Moving around ahead stretch, and Joe Mars Griftar continues to show the way. The A-Train is 3 wide off cover, followed in between horses by Nukes Express. Cemetery Ridge is going to need to dip to the passing lane as they turn for home. And Dave Hawk goes to work on Joe Mars Griftar. Here comes Cemetery Ridge down the inside. Late pace, Let's Do It Now, extreme outside, Holding It Together. Cemetery Ridge rolls to the front. Let's Do It Now, closing Cemetery Ridge. Let's Do It Now, Holding It Together, tight for fourth. The 5th victory on the season. He is a 14-year-old bay horse by Walton Hanover out of Look Me Up by Meadow Skipper, owned by Glenn Preston Addy of Norwich, Ohio. Jay Addy is the winning trainer. Jeff Foud with a pair of wins tonight. Cemetery Ridge takes the 11th. 440 for a $2 ticket. And if you had 3 of 3 correct in the pick 3, you get back $732 even.